Hello and welcome back to another top table duels. This is going to be a ranked best of 3 match, high ranked, versus Sapo in the blue, Sapo Bolii 4 at 1010 playing Ishizu Tearlament against over in the red Chaos Dragons, Bystial Dragons, Light and Darkness Dragon. His name says it all at 706. Before I begin this duel, let me know in the comments below who you think the winner is going to be. Also, are you tired of Ishizu Tearlament yet? Do you still think it's a high skill format and that they're just the best because of the best? Or do you just want to see him go? And if you do want to see him go, let me know in the comments what you would do to fix this deck. Is it maybe limiting out the Ishizus, is it the deck shufflers, specifically like Mudora? Or is it going to be more specifically hit towards the actual Tearlaments themselves? Let me know in the comments below what you think. And I'll kick this off now. Alright. So, Sapo opens up with a Perlino. He's going to go ahead and add his Sheeran into hand. Activate Sheeran, dipping, discarding the Medora, and then he's going to mill 3. He's going to hit the Merly and hit the Kelbeck. And the Saronir. So he's immediately going to send... Alright. So off the Kelbeck, and then so Saronir is going to send in the Bystial Druis Worm, and then he's going to hit a Keldo, another Kelbeck, and a Havnus, as well as the Crime. So he's going to trigger the fusion effect, go into his Kick Callus. Kick Callus effect is going to activate, going to add a card from deck to hand. He's going to add the Solic to negate a monster effect the next turn, and he's going to activate Kick Callus, targeting himself and most likely summoning the Rhino Heart, and Kick Callus is going to activate, so he's going to mill 5 right off the bat, and then he's going to send a specific one that he wants to get the fusion effect. What has he not done? So he's going to hit the Havnus. Havnus effect is going to activate, and here he's got a decision point to make. Light and Darkness Dragon is going to activate Bystial Druis Worm. I didn't see which one he targeted. Probably going to target the Havnus. Yep, targets the Havnus, gets the special summon, shuts down that fusion. Sapo's going to think about this. Then he's going to go into a Time Thief, rank 4, and he's going to activate Time Thief because now he needs to get Sheeran's graveyard effect to kick off. So he's going to activate Havnus's effect. Light and Darkness Dragon is going to allow it to go through. And then he is going to Magnamut onto his other Magnamut. Special summon that out. So he's going to activate Magnamut's effect, special summon Rucalis off of the fusion summon, and then he's going to activate a triple attack his talent. So he did this, to go into a Beatrice or a Wallow. So he's going to activate the Beatrice of the Eternal. And then he's going to immediately shuffle back in 2 of his Kelbecks. And I believe the other one was the Sulk, wasn't sure. And then he's going to send the Scream. Activate Scream, he shuffled back the Crime so he could get the Crime. So now he's looking at a Omni Negate, the effect negator, gets the Magnamut Search at the end of the turn for the Druis Worm and sitting on Rucalos. Alright, let's see Light and Darkness Dragon, see if he can pull through this turn. Alright, so he's immediately going to light off the Chaos Space, ditching the Black Metal Dragon to get himself a light, level 4 through 8. And that's going to be met with the Crime. Crime is going to send his Druis Worm from hand, and if you do shuffle the card in the deck, and then send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard. Okay, so he had no better targets because he kind of burnt himself out before that. So then he's going to go ahead and normal the Star Liege Sifrit, and then that's going to be met with a Beatrice Lady, the Eternal, ditching to send Havnus. Havnus going to special summon, and this is where he's going to Saronir. All he has left is the Sulk, so he's going to have to activate the Rucalis. Rucalis sending itself to negate that summon, which is going to allow the fusion summon to occur, and then Rucalis is going to special summon itself back out. And then Cacalus effect is going to trigger, and then Perlino is going to trigger, and Saronir is going to trigger. So you're going to... I feel like this game is just going to have a lot of high chain links. Let's see if we can break 15 in this game. Just kidding, it's not the mirror match. No one's going to sit all the way through that. Alright, so he activates Mudora's effect to shuffle back in all of his, looks like he specifically targets Star Liege, the Lubellion. I don't know what his other target was. The last one is the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. Activate Mudora, get rid of all of his resources out of the graveyard. So then White Wyvern Buster is going to banish out the Magnemite. He says that's fine. He's probably going to link it on into Pitsy or into Striker Dragon. You have Striker Dragons to summon, and then Wyvern Buster's effects to activate. Does not look like he's playing Boot Sector Launch in this build. So at this point, Keldo is going to banish. Let's see what the next three he's going to get is. So he's going to banish out the last of his target, so he can't even go into a Herratic Seal to be able to do a bounce play to get into his Magnemite and maybe try to get back into the game. So Light and Darkness scoops it up, and then he goes into playing first. Looking at his opponent's hand, he has Havness, so there's going to be a lot of playing on his turn. So he normal summons Star Liege. Safridi's going to discard the Saronir, and which is going to be met with the Havness. So the Havness hits a Merly as well as a Kelbeck, so we're going to be milling 5 more each and then conducting a fusion summon. So he gets his Bystial Druid Worm, and then now Saronir is going to trigger, and the Keldo is going to trigger, and the Merly is going to trigger. Yep. And then he's going to trigger Magnemite, targeting the Merly, which is going to be met with another chain. So I think we're going to do chain 6, chain 7. Bystial Druid Worm is going to chain and target the exact same Merly, because he does not want his opponent getting those searches and be able to go in there. So now he doesn't know that his opponent has a Druid Worm in hand. So they're each going to mill their 5 more, and then Saronir is going to send the Bystial Rebellion. At this point, we've milled into another Merly, which doesn't help us, but we do have the Rhino Heart. So Rhino Heart effect is going to activate, and then he activates Merly again. You already did Merly. He's letting him know, yeah, you can't use Merly again. So off of the Rhino Heart, he's going to be sending a Havness. Havness effect is going to trigger, which is going to be met with a Bystial Druid Worm to shut that effect off. But then he's going to chain the recently milled Keldo, the Protector, to return them. And then he's also going to try to return the Bystial Rebellion, which is going to be met with Light and Darkness Dragon's Ghost Spell, which is going to leave those on. And at this point, he has no other graveyard interruptions. He has no other play interruptions. So now Light and Darkness Dragon can continue his turn. Alright, so he's going to tribute off the Bystial Druid Worm to summon out the Lubellion. Druid Worm's effect is going to activate, hitting the Rhino Heart. Rhino Heart was special by his own effect, so it's going to be banished. And then Lubellion is likely going to set Branded Beast. Yep, so he gets his Branded Beast to play. And then he's going to link off into a Dark. And then he's likely going to use the Dark to get the Magnemite, so now he can get his search, triggering the Magnemite effect because his was turned off in hand. So now he's going to get a search of the end phase. Safrit's effect is going to banish itself, and it's going to add the Bystial Rebellion back to hand. Bystial Rebellion is going to trigger its effect because it hasn't used its hand effect this turn. Likely grabbing... Okay, so he's going to drop another Druid Worm, not a Saron. I think my head is going to get Saronir. And then he's going to activate Branded Beast, ditching the Magnemite that he special summoned to hit the Havness. Havness's effect is already triggered this turn, so he can't use it. And then he is going to add now he's going to add Saronir at the end of the turn, and then he's going to use Branded Beast in the end phase to set Branded Regain. So now that he has his engine set up specifically to begin his recursion and begin his pop, and his opponent knows he's staring down 3 separate Bystial effects, this is going to be hard to come back from. So he's going to immediately pay 1,000 to light off and do an instant fusion, summoning a special summoning Kit Kalos, which is going to be met by Branded Regain's effect activating. Yep, Branded Regain effect is going to activate. And he's going to bring out his Druid Worm, so now he has two ways into an interruption. And then Kit Kalos is going to add Havness to hand. Kit Kalos is going to pop itself, likely to... Oh yeah, sorry, you special summon the Rhino Heart from Grave. So Rhino Heart's going to trigger, and then Kit Kalos is going to mill 5 first. He's going to mostly whiff. He's going to hit the Celic, and then he's going to hit the Keldo. So he's going to have a little bit of graveyard interruption, and then he's going to be able to add back as well. So in order not to whiff, he's going to activate his Rhino Heart. So his Rhino Heart is going to mill into the Sharon. And then Bystial Magnemite is going to target the Sharon. And he's going to add Sharon, so now Sharon's already used his graveyard effect. Because he banished something out with Branded Regain, it's going to shuffle it back, he's going to get a draw, and he's going to trigger his Bystial Magnamut effect to get a search on in phase. So his opponent's going to link off for 2 into Dark, and then Bystial Druisworm's effect is going to trigger to send his Dark to the graveyard. He's okay with that. And then he's going to activate his Dark, likely targeting... I'm not sure what he just targeted. Oh, sorry. He's going to target his Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon. On resolution, Branded Beast is going to pop out the Druisworm to hit the Darkness Metal Dragon, and then Druisworm affecting Graveyard is going to hit Dark the Charmer. So now he's going to activate Sheeran's hand effect, ditching Havness. Accidentally put it back into his deck. And then it's going to mill his 3, and then he's going to trigger his Havness engraved. He did get a Mudora engraved, so now he does have double Graveyard Interruption back in there for continued plays. So Saronir's effect, which hasn't been activated from the hand, is going to banish out the Havness. I feel like this entire game is just all Bystial and banishing. And then he's going to conduct his normal summon and go into Evil Swarm Exciton Knight and clear out the board. And then he can't take any... Yeah, he takes no more damage this turn. Saronir's effect is going to trigger to send another Bystial Lubellion. So what he's doing here is he's just trying to load up his graveyard. So if his opponent uses either one of the graveyard Ishizu effects, that's not going to do anything. So he has to attack with it in order to get his Zeus on board. So now we're going to go into end phase. He's going to add another Lubellion to hand off of his Magnamut search, and then Keldo is going to trigger returning 3. Looks like he's going to hit both of the other Lubellions and return his Kekalos. So there's only one more Graveyard Interruption to play here. He's got the one Magnamut in hand. He's got the board wipe. So at this point, Light and Darkness Dragon has a fairly decent hand, so he's going to activate the Lubellion, likely get himself a Magnamut so he can continue his banishing plays. Now with his Magnamut in hand, he's going to activate his Druisworm. This is a good play. Basically, he's going to try to force out the Zeus. Would be the best way to do it. Now that he has a monster on field, Magnamut can activate in hand, and now Mudora specifically wants to return the Bystial Lubellion. He doesn't know that he has a second one in hand, so he doesn't want to be able to quickly trigger that effect. So he's going to return it, and at this point, he no longer has no more Graveyard Interruptions. He does not know the Light and Darkness Dragon has another Bystial Lubellion in hand that he can just tribute off the Druisworm to force out the Sky Thunder. So he's going to activate his Chaos Space, return his Dark to draw another card, which is going to give him his infinite impermanence. And then, yeah, so Bystial Lubellion is going to tribute itself, going to pop the Zeus. Zeus is going to trigger to get rid of the Lubellion. And at this point, Sapo is sitting on absolutely nothing. His opponent is going to be able to pop off here. So Starlight Safrit effect is going to tribute itself to get into his Collapse Serpent, which allows him to get into his White Wyvern Buster. So an easy play to get into Erratic or any of his other link plays he needs. And then Safrit's going to banish itself to get Lubellion back to hand. Then he's going to activate... he's just going to inherent summon Black Dragon Collapse Serpent, banishing out the Effect Veiler, going into the Striker Dragon, activating Black Collapse Serpent to get into his White Wyvern Buster. And then he's going to banish another one to get into his Wyvern Buster, or special summon his Wyvern Buster. And then he's going to link off. Now he's going to go into a Dark. He's going to target the Magnamut. So at that point, he was really just forcing out the Magnamuts. Activate his own Magnamut. Tribute off. Get in for 1,800 more damage. And he's going to get his Druisworm in the end phase. Sapo's going to get his Druisworm in the end phase. He's going to activate Bystial Druisworm. Special summon it. Crash into Magnamut. Send the Dark. And at this point, he is staring down absolutely nothing. He has no Graveyard Interruption. And his opponent should be able to bring it home. Okay. So then Sapo is going to close it, call it a game. So starting here, this is a... He's not too bad of a hand. Alright, so Sapo's going to start off the game by special summoning Midori by ditching the Kelbeck. Kelbeck's going to hit the graveyard. It's going to mill 5, and he's going to get all 3 separate names as well as the Scream. Alright, and then Light and Darkness Dragon is going to mill. He's going to get his... Yeah, he's not going to get any... Excuse me, he's not going to get anything out. All right, so he's going to set up. So Sappo's going to set up his chain links here. So now he's only got the two ways to interrupt, the Ghost Bell and Saranir. Most likely he's going to save the Ghost Bell specifically for a Bystial, or he's going to save it for the Mudora or whatever else is going to try to conduct a graveyard interruption. So he's going to let his opponent go into Kikalis, which is likely going to be met with an effect Veiler. Yep, he does not want his opponent getting the searches. He doesn't want his opponent to be able to trip it off. So now he's going to normal summon the Merly. Merly is going to mill 3, which hits the Havness, the Yugioh. So now we're just going to see another mill 5. At this point, he's going to Saranir. He's got nothing in graveyard that can stop that Saranir from coming down. So now we've knocked out 2 of our graveyard effects. He's going to activate his Merly, which I believe is the last graveyard effect that he can use. And his opponent mills into... Sorry, his opponent mills into a Saranir, so he's going to be able to send a little bit more, but he's lost his Branded Beast at this point. All right, so he bells to turn off Merly, which was his last-ditch effort to get a summon. So now he's going to go to Dark, likely going to grab his opponent's Magnamut. If I was to guess, yep, Magnamut. Magnamut's effect triggers. Yeah, it's interesting he didn't activate the Saranir there. Or maybe I just didn't see it. All right, so... This goes into his Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf targets the Merly. So now he has a couple of plays. Way to turn the gate. And Light and Darkness Dragon does not have a significant amount of things. So he's just going to go ahead and turn off. So Sappo in the end phase is going to turn off the Lubellion. So he's going to banish the Mudora. And he's going to turn off the Sifri, turn off the Lubellion, and then pass turn. Okay. Now Light and Darkness Dragon has to play his way out of this as best he can. So he's going to activate his Brain and Regain. Branded Beast out in the graveyard. Sprite Elf is immediately going to trigger off. It's going to bring back Merly. Merly's effect is going to trigger to try to mill 3. And then because something was special summoned, Brain and Regain is going to trigger and probably hit a Saranir. He said Saranir, that's his only target. Yeah, Sep asked for a target. That's his only target in the graveyard is the Saranir. So he's going to mill 3. He is going to absolutely whiff on anything that's going to give him an infusion, but he does now have an interrupt on his turn and an interrupt on his opponent's turn. So 2 more interrupts. So it's a free, it's effect. Sorry, free, it's normal summons himself. So he's thinking he's going to send itself, get into his Collapse Serpent or Wyvern Buster Engine. But because the activated effect, Havness now comes down. And Havness hits the Merly and the Sheeran. Sorry, Merly, Sheeran, and Solic. This is going to activate all 3. Bystial Druid's Worm is going to hit the Sheeran. And he's letting all this go through under his Tearlament's Crime. So he adds another Havness back to hand. And then he gets his Kaleido Heart. Because something was banished, he's going to activate Brain and Regain. And because Kaleido Heart was special summon, it's going to bounce the Druid's Worm to get that send off the board. Alright, so he gets the draw. He draws into his Lubellion. What a great draw. Lubellion's effect is going to ditch. Probably go into Magnamut. Yep. Alright, so the opponent has already used his Medora. So he has the Keldos, though, that he can still interrupt and get that Lubellion out. He chooses not to do it. Saranir's effect to send. Who does he send? He sends Magnamut to set up Magnamut for Regained for the next turn if Magnamut's not already engraved. He says, you have enough. So he activates Bystial Lubellion because his beast was engraved. Sappo's a little bit confused. He says, no, I sided out. Sorry. Tried to V-cheat. Okay. He says, I normally play 3 Regained. So he sided out. So 3 Regained is a lot, but I understand if like your deck is very dependent on this. I mean, Branded Regain is by far just such a great card. So then he's going to use his one... sorry, I guess he had another Medora. He must have just milled another Medora some time ago. So he's going to return everything all possible targets, all possible light targets, because he knows his opponent has the Collapse Serpent. So he returns all light targets because he wants to turn off Collapse Serpent. He does not want that on the board. Alright, so he's going to use 2 to go into Heavenly Spheres. And then his opponent is going to trigger the Bystial Druidist Worm to hit his Duelion. It's interesting he did that now instead of an in phase and gave his opponent that opportunity to play that. So then he's going to banish out the Chaos Space, return the Duelion, which is going to get him the triple attack down. And finally, we're going to see the Crime hit. Crime is going to send Havnus. I believe Havnus is... Was Havnus not used already this turn? Okay, yeah, I guess Havnus was not used this turn. I know when he added Havnus, I could have swore he had activated a Havnus effect in Grave that got Ghost Belled. Okay, so I know the Ghost Bell was on the other effect, was on the reshuffle effect. So at this point, he hasn't summoned anything, so he can't get his Branded Regain play to kick off. He's going to summon something, which is going to start the Branded Regain play, which can be met with a negation. So he is going to activate the Branded Regain, and his opponent lets it go. So then he's going to chain the Hieratic Spheres, and then he's going to bounce the Kit Kalos. So, oh, no target. Okay, so specifically, he activates Hieratic Spheres, and then Sapo asks on. So at that point, it because Hieratic Spheres does not target. All right, no target. Not my problem. Okay, so now they're arguing here. So what happened, I guess, is that Hieratic Sphere triggered, and then Sapo asked on. Because Hieratic Sphere does not target, he was basically, if you were asking, what are you going to send back? If you say on, at that point, you've allowed it to resolve, and there's nothing, you can't do anything else about it. And now they're just kind of arguing, getting a little salty back and forth with each other. So I understand that. So Sapo should not have asked on. I think he maybe just forgot and thought it was targeting. But the moment you ask on and your opponent selects, you basically said, hey, I'm allowing this to go through. Okay, so now because there was a... yeah, if a card was sent, especially if you do send one chance. Yeah. Alright, so he's going to bounce one back, then he's going to Magnamut, and because something was banished, he's going to activate his Branded Regained. Alright, so far he's saying, I've only used Sheeran this turn. He's going to activate Dark to go into Sprine. Sprine is going to send, he can only send Merly. So he's going to send his other copy of Merly. Merly effective trigger. It's going to be met with a Bystial Druidist Worm. Set on the same Merly. So now Sheeran and Merly's effects have both been activated this turn. Alright, so he's going to go into battle phase. He's going to attack Druidist Worm's effect. He said, think. I'm going to send Dark. Magnamut's effect activates. Banish out the same Druidist Worm. Activates his effect to get a search and end phase. And he's going to attack over. And so now he can't get over that last Magnamut. So he's going to activate the Keldo, which is going to leave him with no graveyard interruptions left. He's going to play into 3. At this point, he normal summons because he needs to link off. Links off into another Dark. Yeah. Just double check on there. So he needs to go into another Dark so he can get into a Sprite Elf. Because he needs to turn Merly on. Yeah, so he's likely to turn Merly on, so his opponent gets the Druidist Worm at the end, and then Light and Darkness gets the Rebellion at the end, both the Magma plays. So he top deck Cyframe Driver, by far best top deck. I don't think you can do any better than top decking Cyframe Driver. Alright, so now he's going to banish out the Hieratic to go into his Collapse Serpent. His opponent is going to target Elf to get Merly, and then because something was summoned, Branded Regained is going to come back out. So he is going to target his Magnamut, and then his opponent is going to say, no, I'm going to banish that. and then Merly's effect. Merly's effect will whiff getting a fusion summon. He's just going to get the Solic effect to add. So he adds the Havness, obviously, because why not? Because his deck's super fair. So now he can play again on his opponent's turn and go for a fusion summon. So he's going to ditch through Light and Darkness is going to ditch through Rebellion to get into the Bystial Magnamut. This game it's just been going on so much back and forth. He's going to activate the Clap Serpent because it was sent for Striker Dragon, and then he's going to get his White Dragon Wyverbuster. His opponent is just going to keep letting this go. He's going to banish the White Dragon Wyverbuster, special summon the special summon, and then he's going to return the Clap Serpent, and he's going to get his Triple Tactics talent, which at this point, what a great top deck after getting that driver. So he's going to take the Kaleido Heart, and he's going to go into the battle phase. And he's going to begin swinging over everything. So he's going to leave the Druid Swarm on there, and then he's going to link 2 off, go into the dark. He's going to dark for another Magnamut, and then Havness is going to activate, come down, but he does not know that his opponent, I don't think he knows, no, he knows his opponent is sitting on a Magnamut because he pulled it with Rebellion. And then he's going to trigger his one last graveyard effect that he miraculously seems to always have. Just get rid of the Ishizu cards, Konami. Just get rid of them. And then he's going to hit the Rhino Heart, which is his only good hit, and that is likely going to be bet with a Magnamut. What a turnaround. Oh, no, never mind. He doesn't. You already used Havness Grip this turn. He said no. Am I missing something? He does not. Yeah, he doesn't activate the Rhino Heart. Let me know in the comments below what did I miss on that. Alright, so he spins back the Havness off of the Nightmare Unicorn, activates his own Magnamut. Magnamut's effect. Goes into a Virtual World Phoenix fan. You can attach 2 from chosen one card, then target one face card your opponent controls, and 1 card in either graveyard. Banish them. If this card is exposed to attacking monster or by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 2 virtual. Okay, so that's actually a really good card. Being able to banish out 2. He's going to go into in phase. He's going to get his Druid Swarm. His opponent is going to top deck Magnamut. He's going to go into battle phase. He's going to target the Rebellion, special summon the Magnamut. Magnamut's effect is going to trigger. Because something was banished, Bren Regain is going to activate for both effects, getting his own Magnamut back to the field and returning his Rebellion to the bottom of the deck. And then it looks like Sapo has DQ'd. Okay, so what a game. I know that was, 27 minutes. So much back and forth. Absolutely, that was an entire game just driven by Bystials banishing all the cards. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. How do we stop Ishizu Tearlament? Me personally, I'm just going to throw my personal opinion out there on this one. Get rid of the Ishizu cards, or at least get them all to 1. Look at this constant play of being able to have pure consistency in a deck where you can all 4 effects in 1 turn off of little to no. You can basically, if your opponent isn't playing a graveyard-based deck, you can get rid of all their great resources. And then the fact that you can just shuffle back everything you have, or if they are playing a graveyard deck, interrupt them continuously, is just something I don't think should have ever been printed in the first place. Ishizu cards got to go. Maybe we can get this format a little bit back under control. But let me know what y'all think. Again, as always, thank you for spending your time watching these videos and watching me talk about Yu-Gi-Oh! Something I love. And I'll catch y'all next time.
Thank you for watching. Try some of these other great duels. If you like what you saw, give us a like and subscribe.